Top of that breaking news that we have been following all afternoon, streaming right here on 11Alive Plus. Right now, federal agents are searching the Fulton County election hub and operations center. So this is a massive 260,000 square foot facility in Union City. This is right off of Campbellton Fairburn Road. Now, the view from our 11Alive Sky Tracker shows part of the building has now been blocked off with crime scene tape. The county says agents are looking for records related to the 2020 election. And this is video, more video from FBI agents arriving to Union City in just the last 30 minutes, along with the Deputy Director, Andrew Bailey. We're going to get straight over to 11Alive's Grace King. She is now live in Union City. And Grace, what can you tell us so far about this very fluid investigation?
Well, like you mentioned, this is a massive warehouse, and it's prompting a massive response to try and search it so that FBI agents can find what they need. I want you to take a look behind me. This Enterprise truck here, it's been backed up against the Fulton County Board of Elections and Registration all day, or all afternoon rather. They've now filled it up with boxes, moved it to the side of the parking lot, and brought in another truck. They have 3 of them that big so that they can sit here and get all of the records they're looking for and take them back to Virginia. So I spoke with county officials earlier. They were able to give me a copy of the search warrant. It says that the FBI is looking for all physical ballots from the 2020 general election in Fulton County, all tabulator tapes for every voting machine used in Fulton County, all ballot images produced during the original ballot count, and all voter rolls from the 2020 general election in Fulton County. They're looking for a lot of electronic records, but also physical records. When they were switching out the moving trucks, I was able to see inside the loading dock, and you could just see rows and rows of brown boxes ready to be loaded into those trucks so they can try and see if that is what they're looking for. They've set up a mobile command center on site. They brought in even more agents. We started with 20 to 25. I mean, we've seen that many just walking in and out of the building recently. It's a lot of people from their evidence recovery team. They have a lot of their digital forensic specialists here as well. But again, it's just a large presence as they look for pretty much anything and everything related to that 2020 election. Again, there were more than 500,000 votes cast in that election. So there's a lot of evidence here that they're searching here for. Live in Union City, Grace King, 11Alive News.
Okay, Grace, thanks a lot. We're going to get to Chase Howe right now. And Chase, I know you have been speaking to county leaders. What are they saying about all of this?
Ron, they're saying a lot right now, but I want to take you through this because within the last 10 minutes, we've seen this white Enterprise truck right here be taken off that loading dock that Grace King just mentioned because presumably it is full of those 2020 ballots. Then we saw another big Enterprise truck be backed into that port right there. But we did hear from Fulton County commissioners earlier today, and I want the folks watching this to know 2 things. One, I want you to know what they're talking about this, what they're saying about this warrant. So what they're saying is basically when the FBI came to serve this warrant, it was wrong the first time. It had the wrong address of what they were supposed to be searching. 2, when they got the correct warrant, they found out it was a criminal investigation. But the thing here is, and what they were shocked about, is to find out the defendant's name was blocked off. They couldn't find out who the defendant was in this criminal investigation. Now, what they want to be sure of is they want to make sure that the chain of custody, or who the chain of custody is for that matter, that are handling these 2020 ballots that are currently being taken away in these large Enterprises box trucks rather. I also want to say this too, because I thought this was interesting when the Fulton County commissioners were talking to us, is they want to make sure that the 2020 ballots stay in their original case. They want to make sure that it's not tampered with at all. Now, I want you to take a listen to what they said earlier today, which about 2 hours ago, from Mo Ivory, who's one of the Fulton County commissioners, along with a board member of the Georgia State Board of Elections.
This is a full frontal attack on democracy. This is a code red in America, in Fulton County. We've seen it in Minneapolis, and now we're seeing it here in Fulton County. We must do everything that we can to protect the right to vote.
It's kind of disbelief. It's been a long time in coming, I think, and getting a lot of the answers that need to be given.
My apologies. That person that you heard from the Fulton County Commissioner was Marvin Arrington. But again, right now, Ron, you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said this is a very fluid situation, because that is exactly what it is right now. We're still waiting to hear, or possibly hear, from the FBI Deputy Director, Andrew Bailey. Right now, again, we're not sure if he will be talking. We were told by the FBI Public Information Officer that he was told not to talk. But again, they're looking to see if he can get clearance to talk about giving us some sort of information about what's going on in this warehouse behind me, what we can see happening throughout this investigation. But for right now, live in Union City, Chase Howell, 11Alive News.
And you know, Chase, is going to be interesting to see who they're targeting, who's on that criminal complaint. I know they haven't released it, but I know that you're going to stay on top of that, sir, and bring us the very latest. Thank you, sir. All right, President Trump has long insisted that the 2020 election was stolen from him. Judges across the country and even his own attorney general have said they found no evidence of widespread fraud that would have tipped the vote in favor of the former President Joe Biden. So last month, the Justice Department filed a lawsuit seeking access to Fulton County's 2020 election documents. The Fulton County clerk has filed a motion to dismiss that lawsuit. And as you know, we're going to continue to follow this story very, very closely in the weeks, maybe months ahead. And you can stream updates right now, right here on 11Alive Plus. All right, let's get to our other big story tonight, and it's the weather impact alert. And Chris, I know it's cold, but it's about to get colder, and we have to be careful out there to stay safe.
We really do. You've got to protect yourself because these temperatures coming up this weekend are going to be frigid. We're talking about 60 plus hours below freezing, and there may even be a couple of flurries that'll mix in with this system too. But the main reason we're issuing this alert is because of the cold. The snow part of it is really just a secondary reason. So what we're watching is Saturday, Sunday, and through Monday morning. That's where we have this alert. Take a look at the graphic and you can see here that we're talking about that 60 plus hours at temperatures at or below freezing. You know, we were telling you yesterday about this coastal low that's going to be developing off the southeast coast that may spread a little moisture back into that cold air where we can see a few flurries around. I'll be breaking down the areas that might see a better chance of accumulating snow coming up in just a little bit, but we want you to be aware you need extra layers. Now, it's been cold the past couple of days with lows in the 20s, highs in the 40s. We'll have that again tomorrow and on Friday. But this weekend, you'll want to add extra layers to that because it is just going to be frigid. It's going to be prolonged cold temperatures. It's really going to be below freezing through the weekend. Even if we get up to 33 degrees on Sunday, that would be for just a brief little period there. And then we move back down Monday morning to well below freezing before we start warming back up again on Monday afternoon, back to the 40s. So the snow risk is going to be on Saturday, mainly to the east. And any winter weather that we have this weekend would be that, snow. Not worried about sleet or freezing rain based on how the column of air is going to be so cold all the way up. So that would mean a snow event. But the accumulating snow right now we think would be mainly east of us. So just know this is an evolving forecast. Stay alert and stay with us each and every day because we're going to be fine-tuning this forecast all depending on where that low sets up and how much moisture is going to be able to spin back over into our area, into that cold air. So we'll talk about a couple of those scenarios and show you more about the timeline of this coming up in just a few minutes, Rob.
Okay, Chris, we'll see in a couple of minutes. Our breaking news right now. But this time, this is out of Cobb County. The GBI confirms with 11Alive there's been a shooting at Cobb County Police Headquarters. 11Alive's Cody Alcorn got to the scene within the last hour. So, Cody, tell us more about where you are right now and what you have learned so far, sir.
Ron, we're right here on Fairground Street, like you mentioned, right outside the Cobb County Police Headquarters, and it's very rare to have a shooting on their property. This thing happened right outside the front door. Let me step out of the way. You can see the entire parking lot here is roped off with crime scene. You cannot get inside the Cobb County Police Headquarters here. The GBI is here. They are the lead agency. Obviously, Cobb County will have an internal investigation as well, but GBI agents inside right now, probably looking over surveillance video and interviewing this one officer or officers who opened fire. And you can see it happened right here outside the front door. And what I can tell you is we zoomed in just a few minutes ago and there is a handgun in front of one of those evidence markers. As we zoom in, there it is. So you see clear as day, there is a gun. Cobb County Police telling me that a armed woman showed up here and at some point they engaged with this woman and shots were fired. That female suspect was shot. She was taken to a local hospital. Her condition is unknown right now, but we can tell you no Cobb County police officer was hurt. And I did follow up with what was she armed with? They have not gotten back to me, but again, you just saw firsthand there is a weapon right here within this crime scene. So a lot of questions still obviously need to be answered, and it likely will be some time. The GBI usually takes a couple of hours to get out here, review the evidence, and then put out a statement online. So it might be tomorrow when we get the full picture of what happened here. Cobb County Police say, though, they're making sure the GBI will be releasing any more details other than what they told us, that a armed woman showed up here for some reason this afternoon and at some point was engaged with an officer, likely in that SUV right there, and shots were fired. That woman was shot and taken to a hospital.
All right, Cody. You know, it's interesting. I like the way you zoomed in and we could see that possible weapon. It looked like a semi-automatic weapon. I know you're going to stay on top of that story tonight, and we're going to find out, hopefully, who that weapon belongs to. All right, Cody. We'll see you tonight at 11 o'clock, if not sooner. All right, straight ahead, Cobb County parents are pushing back tonight after a district letter warned students, protesters, their actions could actually impact their college careers and their careers. Next, why they're calling it just a scare tactic. Welcome back, everyone. The two Border Patrol agents involved in that deadly shooting during a protest in Minneapolis have now been placed on administrative leave. This is just days after the killing of Alex Preddy. So far, the names of the agents have not been released to the public. Now, on the same day the agents were placed on administrative leave, the Department of Homeland Security stepped back from its earlier comments about that shooting with Preddy. A spokesperson now says that their first statement came from what they're describing as, quote, a very chaotic scene. Now, shortly after the shooting, DHS said that Preddy violently resisted Customs and Border Protection and appeared to want to massacre law enforcement. A department spokesperson now says that that investigation is ongoing. Several Metro Atlanta school districts are now warning families about the consequences students could possibly face for participating in a school walkout. 11Alive's Galat Malamed spoke with some of the parents in Cobb County who disagree with how the district is handling all of this.
As students at high schools across Georgia and the country walk out protesting ICE's actions, Cobb County parent Dale Carnegie is taking issue with the letter sent home to families, warning about the consequences students could face if they walk out too. It's this line after the district lays out consequences, quote, each has long-lasting impacts that could be taken into account by college admissions offices and future employers, that Carnegie is most upset with.
I didn't like the tone in the letter, how it basically said, if you do this, it's going to ruin your future. I mean, that was the part that I didn't like. I do understand that the school is responsible to maintain a safe environment, but I think the scare tactics were a little overdone.
The letter says the district respects students' rights to express their views in a non-disruptive way and that leaving class violates the code of conduct. Carnegie says he would support his son Jordy if he wants to walk out during a protest planned at Wheeler High School Friday.
It's a real life thing that's going on and happening right now. Like, I have family members that's currently going through it.
For Lassiter High School parent Julie Booth, this part of the letter, quote, "We are aware of efforts by external groups to recruit students for a rally regarding ICE," stands out to her.
I feel like using words like recruit makes it seem like some nefarious source is coming in and trying to gather up our children, and that's not what has happened at all.
In a statement to 11Alive News, a Cobb School spokesperson says in part, "Our schools are narrowly focused on providing safe classrooms where children learn, no more and no less. We respect the rights of students to express their views in a non-disruptive manner." In Cobb County, Gulot Malamed, 11Alive News.
Another blast of Arctic air is on the way for the weekend. That's why we have an 11Alive weather impact alert in effect. Stay with us. We'll let you know if any moisture could mix in with this really cold air. We'll talk more about it next. We have an 11Alive weather impact alert in effect for the weekend through early Monday morning because of the really cold air that we're going to be feeling here for the weekend. And it's going to be frigid. We're talking about our temperatures that are going to be at or below freezing for around 60 or more hours. We may get up to 33 briefly on Sunday, but that would only be for an hour or so. And then we go back down to those 20s here for Monday morning. By Monday, we'll finally warm back up to those 40s here. Now, the other thing we're watching, more of a secondary headline with this, is there's the potential for some snow flurries to mix in with this really cold air. For the metro area, we're thinking it'll be just that, flurries. But east of the city, we could see some accumulations. Now, it's still too early to assign any specific totals to this, like city by city, but we really think that most of the snow would be up into the Carolinas, where they could see 4+ inches of snow there. Roughly in East Georgia here, along the Georgia-South Carolina line, up to 2 inches of snow. Some of that could come into parts of Clark County, maybe into parts of Jackson County up near Commerce, maybe even up toward Gainesville with some of those lighter accumulations there. For the metro area, we think that this is going to be just some snow, a few snow flurries and snow showers with only very light accumulations. But this can change. This is going to be an evolving forecast because it all depends on an area of low pressure. Is a coastal low that's going to be developing off the southeastern coastline, and depending on the track of that low, that's going to determine whether or not it could spin more moisture back off of the Atlantic into our area where that cold air is already going to be in place. Now, we start off tomorrow morning in the 20s, right at about 26 degrees, and then we get up into the 40s in the afternoon. with a mixture of sunshine and clouds, but no rain expected tomorrow. So here's the forecast track of what we're watching, where we see that potential here of a few more clouds during the day tomorrow, but no rain or anything. Lows in the 20s, highs in the 40s. On Friday, a little better chance for just a few little showers around, mainly on the south side. Then going into Saturday, early in the morning, as some of that moisture moves back into our area, we're going to see some of these snow flurries that should be coming down here. The bulk of this does look like it's going to be really from Atlanta eastward, but where we see that snow falling for a longer period of time over on the east side, that's where we could see some of those accumulations, and that's favored really more toward the Georgia-South Carolina line. But it's going to be so cold here, guys. We're talking lows in the 20s, highs in the 40s the next couple of days, but that Arctic air really plummets into our area on Saturday. We'll only get up to a high of 28 degrees on Saturday afternoon. Then we're down to 15 Sunday morning with a high of 33, so maybe briefly over freezing. But then we go back to 21 Monday morning. Then we finally start thawing out. 44 for a high Monday, then lower 50s here on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Man, we really have to be weather aware. Thanks a lot, Chris. Folks, we're staying on top of that breaking news right now. Right now, federal agents are searching the Fulton County election hub and the operations center. We're going to get back to 11Alive's Grace King. She's live in Union City. So you have some new information about this, Grace?
That's right, Ron. In the last couple of minutes, we saw Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard show up on scene to meet with the Deputy FBI Director Andrew Bailey here at the Fulton County Elections Hub. So if you take a look behind me, the FBI has a mobile command center set up here. So once Tulsi Gabbard got here on scene, she walked into the little command hub to meet with the Deputy FBI Director so they could talk about what's going on here. Then they went inside of this Fulton County election hub. Now, this is a massive warehouse where pretty much everything elections related happens here in Fulton County. They have been bringing boxes in and out of these enterprise trucks basically all afternoon. One of them already full, moved out of the way. They brought the other two here so that they continue taking that evidence. Now, here's what we know. They're looking for just about anything and everything related to the 2020 election. Now, that's the tabulation data, that is the votes, the ballots, all of that. Inside here, they're working to try and get from a search warrant this afternoon. Fulton County leaders, they've been very taken aback by this. But again, we're seeing a large national presence here from the D.C. office. It's not the FBI Atlanta that's leading this investigation. This is straight from D.C., the national team. Whatever is collected here will be driven back up to Virginia as they continue their investigation. But those search warrants say that the FBI believes a crime was committed here related to the 2020 election. And the judge signed off on that, saying, yes, they do have enough cause to come in here and search for that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. But again, Deputy Director of the FBI, Andrew Bailey, on scene, as well as Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Live in Union City, Grace King, 11Alive News.
Oh, okay, Grace. We're probably going to be following this story not for weeks, but for months to come. All right, thank you. Appreciate the update. All right, straight ahead. Dreaming of warm beaches right now? Well, now's the time to book. Next, the hot deals cruise companies are rolling out. Hey, welcome back, everyone. So is this weather giving you the winter blues? Well, now is the perfect time to plan that next vacation. Several cruise companies are now offering major discounts, and this is a season known as the wave season. Jen Sullivan has highlights for some of the hottest deals that you can score right now.
With bitter cold temperatures sweeping the country, you may be dreaming of white beaches instead of snowbanks. And now is a great time to book a trip because many cruise companies are slashing their prices.
You can find deals, discounts, incentives, and offers all across the board.
Emily Kaufman, known online as the Travel Mom, says from now through March, many cruises offer promotional savings. It's known as wave season.
Historically, this time of year is slow when it comes to travel. This is an incentive to get people thinking about travel, planning, and booking their cruises.
AAA estimates nearly 22 million Americans will take a cruise this year. That would be a record. So what type of discounts are we talking about? From now through February 16th, Princess Cruises is offering up to 40% off on select trips. Kaufman says that's up to $500 of savings. You can sail to places like the Caribbean, Europe, and Alaska. Celebrity Cruises has a deal for 75% off the second guest on select trips. Carnival Cruises is offering 50% off select trips, but that deal ends January 31st.
National Geographic Lindblad expeditions sails to great places like the Galapagos and Antarctica, and you can save 20% off of those experiences now too.
And it's not just big cruise lines. You can also find deals on many river cruises. You don't have to take your trip right away, but you do have to book it now to score the deals. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
It's going to be chilly the next couple of days, lows in the 20s, highs in the 40s, but then really cold this weekend. And that's why we have an 11Alive weather impact alert for Saturday, Sunday into Monday morning. The secondary headline for the weekend is going to be whether or not we have any snow in any part of our area. I think for Metro Atlanta, we will have some flurries, and then the potential for accumulating snow east of the city over toward the Georgia-South Carolina line. High temperatures on Saturday are not even going to go above freezing. We'll be at 28. In fact, we think we'll be below freezing for about 60 or more hours through the weekend. We're not going to warm up again until Monday.